Thanks for making KRTV your choice for news tonight. I'm Shannon Newth. First at 10, a body has been recovered from the Missouri River south of Great Falls. Cascade County Sheriff Jesse Slaughter says the body was found in the Big Bend area. The person's body was recovered by law enforcement and will be taken to the state crime lab in Missoula for an autopsy to determine cause and manner of death. Sheriff Slaughter will release the person's name after family members have been notified. We'll update you when we learn more. Now to the latest on coronavirus in the state. We've learned tonight that another case has been reported in Cascade County, a man in his 30s. The Cascade City County Health Department reports he's in isolation, and the health department is looking into who he may have been in contact with and how he may have gotten the virus. Some good news: of the 12 cases in the county, 7 have recovered. This brings the total number of cases in Cascade County to 12. Across the state, 135 people have recovered from the coronavirus, and more than 7,400 tests have been completed. Also today, 2 new cases were reported in Richland County, along with another case in Glacier, bringing their total to 2. Earlier today, the state was reporting 332 total cases in Montana. 2 postal workers are among those who have tested positive in Billings. U.S. Postal spokesman James Boxwood says that the Postal Service believes the exposure risk is minimal because the agency has followed social distancing guidelines to keep employees 6 feet away from each other and the public. Due to health privacy laws, Boxwood was unable to tell us where the 2 employees worked and when they tested positive. Experts have said the risk of contracting COVID-19 from mail is low because mail is exposed to many different temperatures and environments. Well, earlier this week, we asked you to submit your coronavirus questions. We took those questions to Benefice infectious disease physician Anna Stevens. MTN's Jennifer Walter sat down with her to get the answers, and here's some of the highlights from that interview.
So for those questions, can we talk a little bit about just what symptoms people are seeing and kind of anything that anybody should be looking out for?
So coronavirus honestly looks very, very similar to just about any other common head cold virus, any other respiratory virus. A lot of people do have fevers from that, and headache is also fairly common too. But then we have the other end of the spectrum where some people have no symptoms at all. And so it's quite varied, and it also varies by people's immune system status and also by their age as well. So it can look very similar to a lot of other things that we experience, multiple times during the course of a winter.
As far as being able to do more testing, do we have a better capability now than we did in the past?
Oh,
is
certainly.
there more tests available?
We do, and a lot of our tests that are lower priority will be sent off to the state, but we also now are one of 2 hospitals in Montana that have a test that we can run in our own microbiology lab, and the turnaround time for the test, the result time for the test, is only a couple hours. So we are using that, but supplies are also limited from the manufacturer of the test, so we are trying to be judicious in who we test. But that is our method right now. Any patient that's inpatient here gets the rapid test.
Was there anything else that you wanted to let people know about or wanted to talk about?
I think my only final caution is just be aware of a lot of misinformation online. There's a lot of very strange and not well-founded ideas that are circulating about, and I just want to encourage people to be really careful with where their health information is coming from. I think using well-vetted websites, including the CDC website and other public health department websites, things like that, just make sure you go to a source that is reliable.
Absolutely, I agree, and that's why we wanted to do this, was to get it from the source. So.
And you can read more from that entire question and answer session right now at KRTV.com. Well, stimulus checks could start going out later this week, and while some people say they're grateful for the help, there's some also saying it's not nearly enough. In a recent bank rate survey, 31% of people who are expecting checks said that money won't last them a month. 8% said it won't help them at all, and half of the people surveyed say they'll use the money to catch up on bills. About a third said they'll put the money into savings. Lawmakers in Washington are already working on a possible 4th stimulus bill, which could make more aid available. Here at home, a new food menu has made its way to Great Falls, bringing another cuisine to residents under stress of quarantine. MTN's Keely Van Mittendorp has more.
There's something different that nobody else has here in town.
Spices and Spurs owner Cassie Campbell is bringing a whole new level of comfort food to the Great Falls area.
This is a Good Morning burger, which is a half-pound burger with ham, bacon, hash browns, cheese, and an egg.
The food truck, also dubbed the Purple People Feeding Machine, rolled into town Wednesday and aims to fill a new niche created by coronavirus chaos.
It seems like people are begging for other options other than frozen pizza. This is my Porky Pig burger.
Campbell works full-time at a restaurant during her slower months.
Cold in the winter, and these don't work in the winter.
But due to COVID-19, decided to open early this year, creating financial uncertainty for herself while providing stability for those around her.
It wasn't fair for me to continue to work for them full-time when other people needed the work, when I could try and supplement my own income.
One thing she wants diners under quarantine to consider, appearances can oftentimes be deceiving. Campbell says any real dangers in dining out may be all in your mind.
One thing about doing food trailers, we are held to even higher standards than most restaurants are even. We are not roach coaches.
In Great Falls, Keely Van Mittendorp, MTN News.
Spices and Spurs, previously operated in Ulm, Campbell will be set up in the CVS parking lot along 10th Avenue South in Great Falls on Wednesdays and Thursdays. She offers curbside pickup for those not wanting to leave their vehicles. Well, as healthcare workers around the country face some tough times and added stress during the COVID-19 pandemic, a restaurant in Great Falls is doing what it can to help. Our Isaiah Dunk has more.
This isn't usually how Aaron Weissman likes his dining room at Teriyaki Madness to look, but it's a sign of the times for the owner of the restaurant on 10th Avenue South. The COVID-19 pandemic has limited many restaurants to delivery and takeout only, but the community has helped keep things running.
There's been a lot of days when it's been really slow. The support of the Great Falls community throughout this process it's been ramping up, and there's some groups that have been forming on Facebook that have really been encouraging people to support local businesses and local restaurants, and that's really helped us keep our doors open. Without any doubt, it's a lot slower than we'd like it to be.
And now Teriyaki Madness is giving back. The chain has a new promotion intended to help healthcare workers. It's called the Pay It Forward campaign. Sponsors spend $75, and Teriyaki Madness will match that to cater a teriyaki bar at hospitals and other facilities, enough to feed 10 people.
I think they really appreciate having a nice meal, having good food, and not having to travel out and put themselves more at risk to go find food. As they're having to do longer and longer hours in their respective offices, in the ER, in the ambulance service, finding the time to make food is something that they don't necessarily have. And being able to bring hot-filling food with healthy ingredients to them is something that I think is just a win-win.
And while being able to help healthcare workers is a bonus, there's another silver lining. Great Falls Teriyaki Madness is using this time to renovate its dining room, and Weissman is having his own employees do the work to avoid reduced hours and layoffs.
I haven't had to reduce anybody's hours, but what we're doing is we're remodeling and going to repaint the dining room. And personally, I'm really looking forward to inviting all of Great Falls to a remodeled Teriyaki Madness dining room after all this craziness is over.
In Great Falls, Isaiah Dunk, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Isaiah. After a cooler day today, our Storm Tracker weather team is tracking a warm-up for tomorrow. Brandon joins us now. You're also tracking a bigger cool down coming soon.
Yeah, some big ups and downs in the forecast over the next several days. Let's start, though, with what we saw today because it was a little bit on the cooler side. 8 degrees below normal here in Great Falls. 45 is not too cold for this time of year, but we would like it to be a little bit higher than that. 26 was our overnight low. That's pretty close to normal. Temperatures falling off a little bit, obviously, as we've headed through the evening. We've fallen about 10 degrees to 35 right now. Got a little bit of cloud cover that you can't really see on the U.S. Bank iCam, but in general, we're expecting some clearing overnight tonight. So looking at the forecast for tomorrow, that clearing trend is going to continue. It's actually going to be nice and sunny tomorrow. High temperature, very comfortable, 62 degrees, a big increase over what we saw today. Southeast wind at 3 to 6 miles per hour. Really nice day for our Thursday. As we look ahead for the next 3 days, at least temperature-wise, we see some major changes. Already starting to get a tiny bit cooler by Friday, but we really see the influence of that cold air on Saturday. 30 degrees the high temperature there. And with that cold air moving in, we're also tracking some snow. We're going to have more on that later in the show.
Thanks, Brandon. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders has ended his run for the White House, citing the country's battle against the coronavirus as a major factor. His decision now clears the way for former Vice President Joe Biden to become the official Democratic presidential nominee and challenge President Trump in November. Sanders' withdrawal comes just one day after the Wisconsin primary, where voters cast ballots as the nation grapples with COVID-19. Sanders saw strong support from young voters by championing ideas like Medicare for all and free college, but failed to expand his base. Sanders encouraged supporters to keep pushing for policy change and says he will stay on the ballot and continue to collect delegates to have an impact on the Democratic Party platform. Well, coming up, Easter dinner might be a little bit different this year for many, but that doesn't mean it'll be delicious. We'll have more coming up on Montana Night.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. With Easter coming up this Sunday, it's not only an important religious holiday for many, it's also important for many ranchers who raise lamb. With more on this story, here's the Montana Ag Network's Russell Nimitz.
For sheep producers, Easter is a very important time of the year because it's traditionally when a lot of delicious American lamb is bought and consumed. Gwendolyn Kitson is the American Lamb Board's chairman from Nisland, South Dakota, and told me, despite these challenging times, our farmers and ranchers, retailers, and butcher shops are working hard to have lamb stocked in the meat case for your Easter and Passover meals.
It certainly is. And traditionally, lamb is the protein to eat at Easter time. And of course, you know, the world has changed drastically in the last 2 to 3 weeks, but American lamb can still be on your table for Easter. And so you can share that with your family and friends.
She says that recent data even shows that lamb sales are actually up during this COVID-19 national emergency.
Even though that, you know, the fine restaurants are not open right now, but lamb sales have increased over by 54% in the last 2 weeks because everybody is discovering, you know, they can make lamb at home and share it with their families.
And she says even though it's a busy time of the year, sheep producers like her remain committed to providing consumers American lamb at the meat case.
Everybody's out there. They're in the lambing barns. They're going forward. They're not stopping to provide this clean, safe food for America. At the same time, the American Lamb Board is working closely with the ASI, the American Sheep Industry, the National Lamb Feeders. They're talking to all the food chains out there to see what can we do and how can we work together to work our way through this crisis.
In Billings, Russell Nimitz, MTN News.
Well, you'd be hard-pressed to find an industry hit harder by the COVID-19 outbreak than tourism around the world. Travelers have canceled vacations, hotels and resorts are sitting empty, and everyone wonders just how long it will take before people are comfortable traveling again. MTN's Jay Cohn has more tonight on how the industry wrestles with its new reality.
It's been a devastating few months for Montana's tourism and travel industry. As the world and our region learns to cope with the coronavirus pandemic, the harsh reality is thousands of people have already lost their jobs, and things are likely going to get worse before they get better. First, the good news. A survey of 1,200 Americans conducted this past weekend indicates a majority of those surveyed say they hope to be traveling again this fall. A growing number say they'll likely drive versus fly, and they plan to avoid crowded destinations, which means that Montana's wide open spaces might be just what the doctor ordered. The same survey shows 65% of those questioned have canceled a trip or reservations in just the past few weeks. Stuart Doggett with the Montana Lodging and Hospitality Association reports that Montana's hotel and motel industry is already seeing widespread layoffs. One study says as many as 5,000 direct job losses just in Montana's hotel motel industry, and when you add in the indirect jobs, that figure climbs to job losses in excess of 14,000. Across the state, hotel owners say right now 8 of 10 rooms are empty on any given night. And on the national level, Doggett says the hotel-motel industry is losing as much as $2.4 billion each week. Many of Montana's travel regions say they're beginning now to pivot to market a Montana vacation to nearby markets where travelers can simply jump in their vehicle and drive here. Even the best case scenarios show that Americans probably won't be comfortable traveling again until this fall. And by then, the hotels say they're only expecting, perhaps hoping, for occupancy rates near 50%. In Billings, Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
We'll be going from a gorgeous spring day to cold winter weather all in the next few days. We'll have the forecast coming up.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
Well, not too much going on across the state weather-wise this evening. Got a couple of little stray showers here and there, mainly in Fergus County. We've had a little bit of cloud cover move in, but you can see that's already starting to clear up if you look off to the north and west here. And in general, we expect a clearing trend as we head through the night tonight. So nice clear night tonight, nice clear day tomorrow. We do have some big changes in the weather coming, though, as we head a little bit further through the forecast. So let's go through Future Track right now. Relatively clear through the night tonight, and as we head into the day tomorrow, I think we're going to see, again, a lot of sunshine. Future Track wants to put in a couple of clouds off to the east. I don't think this is going to be nearly as heavy cloud cover as what it's showing here on Future Track. I'm expecting more sunshine than anything else, and then as we head through Friday, that's when the clouds really start to increase. Here's 6 a.m. Friday. We can already start to see first indications of this cold front to our north. Now, the exact timing on this front is still a little bit up in the air, a little bit of question surrounding that. But in general, we expect that to drop down as we head through the day on Friday. Not too much in the way of precipitation as of yet, but as we head through the afternoon hours on Friday, we are going to start to see a little bit of pop-up shower activity here and there, maybe a little bit of snow already in some of the higher elevations. And then as we head into Friday night and Saturday morning, that's when we really see the moisture heading in, and that's when we're really going to see that snow developing. Here's noon on Saturday. You can see widespread snow all across the area, or I shouldn't say all across the area, across most of the area. It looks like northeast Montana might actually miss out on the worst of this one, parts of the High Line as well. So in general, it's kind of where we've got this heavier swath of snow that we're more concerned with. So let's talk about the impacts here. We're not going to go too in depth in the snowfall forecast as of yet, but we will get that for you tomorrow, a snow map for you. But in general, areas of heavy snow are possible. I'm still favoring probably about 5 to 8 inches of snow in Great Falls at this point. Again, we'll dive into that more tomorrow. Blowing and drifting snow also a problem. Chilly temperatures too. Highs in the 20s and 30s behind that cold front. So major changes in our weather, and looks like enough confidence at this point for the National Weather Service to issue a winter storm watch. So we do have one in effect for all the areas shaded in the purple. This is where we expect the most significant impacts, but all of north central Montana is going to be feeling at least some impacts from this system moving in. So a lot to deal with as we head into the weekend, but let's get back to the shorter term because the weather is much, much nicer in the short term. Right now it's 37 in Malta, 33 in Hayes, 34 in Havre, 32 in Cutbank, and it's 29, a little bit chillier there in Scobie. They're also very windy in northeastern Montana earlier in the day today. 20 degrees for the overnight low in Scobie tonight, 22 for Wolf Point, 24 in Jordan, 23 in Havre, and the low temperature in Great Falls falling down to 24 degrees through the day tomorrow. Really nice increase in our temperatures. 31-degree increase between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. We've got warmer air moving in. We've got sunshine. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. Temperatures across the board looking pretty good, although we will have some cooler spots. 58 for Fort Benton, 62 in Great Falls. You do notice we have a couple of 40s off to the east, so a little bit chillier there. Fortunately, unlike today, we're not going to see the strong winds in eastern Montana or really anywhere. It's going to be a nice calm day for our Thursday. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast now. Lots of sunshine for our Thursday again. Clouds increasing for Friday. Could see a couple of showers. Temperatures are going to depend on how quickly that cold front is able to move in. Again, we'll be tracking that very closely. But behind that front is where we really see the changes. Heavy snow possible for Saturday. Temperatures really dropping, high of 30 degrees. And that high temperature is probably pretty early in the day. We stay in the 20s for Easter Sunday, and then we slowly warm up for the remainder of the forecast. Shannon?
Thanks, Brandon. We have more to come here on your 10 o'clock news. Many people have had to get used to a new norm working from home. Coming up, how the office at home is a physical adjustment.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. More people are working from home than ever before, but most homes aren't really designed for an 8-hour office day work. MTN's Andy Curtis takes a look at how to stay comfortable and healthy while working from home.
So it turns out all the comforts of home aren't actually that comfortable for working. Companies will often invest hundreds of dollars per employee to create an ergonomic workspace that doesn't cause pain.
And if you're not careful, bad work posture can lead to personal health consequences.
It's going to be one of those things that it's going to creep up to you and it's going to come on. And by the time you feel it, you've already done some damage, right, to your posture to your neck muscles, right? The old cliche of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure could not be more true. I mean, with occupational injury.
First, you're going to want to find an area with as much natural light as possible, but not glaring. Dimly lit rooms like this one can contribute to eye strain and headaches.
Set aside a work area where you can have your feet flat on the floor, your hips, knees, and elbows at 90 degrees, and use pillows for seat and lumbar support. Raise your monitor or laptop so the top of the screen is level or just below your eye line, and take breaks.
Keep a normal routine, which means do take your 15-minute break in the morning, do take your lunch hour away from your work area, just so that, once again, you're moving around and not in one static position for any extended period of time.
Spending all day inside can also lead to vitamin D deficiency, which has been linked to depression and loss of bone density.
Whenever you do get a chance, take a walk outside, while still being mindful of social distancing, of course. Reporting in Helena, MTN News team of Andy Curtis and John Riley.
All right, thanks, guys. Health experts also warn during this extended time at home, it can lead to some extra weight gain. Food should be left in the kitchen to prevent over snacking, and it's recommended people get at least 150 minutes of moderate to intense exercise. Well, if you're missing sports highlights on TV, we want you to send your sports-related home videos to us. It can be anything you've done to pass the time in quarantine, from a trick shot on your driveway hoop to a game you may have created yourself. Anyone can do it. Just go to KRTV.com for more information on how to submit your video. A final look at your forecast is coming up right after this.
Welcome back. Might be tracking some snow for the weekend, but we're tracking an excellent day for tomorrow. A nice calm day, a nice sunny day, and nice and warm too. By the time we get to about 4 p.m., we'll be near 60 degrees.
Well, getting a good night's rest seems to be a little bit harder for some people right now. Just take a look at Twitter. One recent trending hashtag is pandemic nightmares. People are reporting having more vivid dreams and nightmares relating to coronavirus and trouble sleeping in general. Sleep experts say that's normal in a time of stress. They suggest to keep your regular schedule, decrease caffeine throughout the day, and try some type of calming routine before bedtime. Thankfully, no coronavirus nightmares for me so far.
Me neither, so
hopefully keep
it that way. Exactly.
And hopefully for you too. We'll see you tomorrow.